Star Trek: The Next Generation was a show. Star Trek: The Next Generation. Everybody I interacted. A show that I started watching when I was a really little kid. Can you believe it's been 30 years? Star Trek: The Next Generation first.
Star Trek: The Next Generation was my life.
I really grew up with this show.
My relationship to how I should conduct myself. It was the escape from reality. Welcome to Next Generation's First Generation, where Patrick Delmore and Sascha Schaudies take a look back into their favorite childhood show, Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is where we attempt to reconcile how we felt as children watching the show and looking back as old farts now in our late 30s, almost 40s. Guests, social commentary, and good old-fashioned shade-throwing on our favorite and least favorite episodes. Here comes Patrick and Sascha. Oh, I almost forgot. This is a watch-along podcast, so make sure to queue up your favorite DVD or Netflix, and we'll give you the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to basically watch along with the episode. I'm dreaming of Okana Christmas, just like the wife he delivered to that guy, paid with family jewels, without Picard's knowledge. Oh, that guy was kind of a sleazebag bachelor dating pirate person.
Please keep this intro.
Can do. So, welcome to another episode of Next Generation's First Generation. I'm your host, Sascha Schaudies, and we also have with us
Patrick Delmore.
Yay! And we also have a gaggle of guests. To our lefty-righty over here, we have
Amanda.
Yay!
Slightly lefter of the lefty-righty, Mark.
And me again, Patrick. Hey, Patrick! There was booze involved this evening.
There's two of you because we're in stereo, so this is just the other half chiming in.
Am I the center righty?
Yes, you are the
center righty.
You're Jem.
Schaudies.
You're not Amanda.
Yeah.
Oh, the left Jem.
On the extreme outskirts is Nigel.
Hooray! Yay! So the buses don't run out that far? Is that what you're saying?
Afraid not. I had to walk.
Oh man, well it's not a big table. You can just come over to the other side. All right. So today we are watching the outrageous Okana. This is kind of a nice little tongue-in-cheek episode. We get to see some nice character development. We see a comedian. What's the name of this guy?
Joe Piscopo.
That's right. And he tries to teach Data how to laugh?
The outrageous Joe Piscopo. Just comic genius here.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, the title character, the outrageous Okana, would a year from now become the Rocketeer.
No.
Yes. So this is the 4th episode of the 2nd season. We are, of course, watching it again on the DVD without all of the enhancements and bells and whistles. I watched it last week on Netflix, which does have the enhanced versions. Will be interesting to compare the two. Anyway, we're on the menu screen, and I will count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and engage. And here is the
Captain's log, stardate 42402.7. We're traveling to the Mega Sega. So we got it.
Oh yeah, I still got it on.
From the coalition of something or other, and applications, HDMI. The TV's going wonky. The Borg have invaded the television. Now everything's screwed.
He's the only one that gets a collar. When did these guys get their collars?
Wesley?
Which
Help me out.
Which
Help me
season?
out. Season 2, and this is episode.
No,
4.
I mean, which season do they get their collars? Like on everybody's uniform.
That's
Oh,
not
they're
until
still-
after.
The first season, they all get that little cord liner across the episode.
Right, yeah. But yeah, I mean, after a while, they eventually get
They get
collars
rid of them,
on all of their suits.
I want to say 3 or 4. It happens
Okay.
just about the same time. the Talamarine. No, not the Talamarine. It's the when Picard gets a smoking jacket.
That's right.
Smoking jacket.
Yeah, he gets a
that
smoking
was fun.
jacket.
He could so Mr. Crusher. That's not the first time he ever says that, is it?
No.
No, they've practiced a lot.
Practical models. Gotta love it.
So anyway, they found the ship. It was, I think, putting off a distress
That's
signal.
delicious.
Hey, we're gonna meet here. I really think that William Campbell, who plays Okana, would have made a better Riker.
Well, he auditioned for Riker.
No.
Oh.
Why did
Look
you get
the
it?
hell at that beard.
He's just starting his hipster puberty phase. So.
Well, he just turned 13.
I'm growing him out, man. Babes are gonna be all over me during recess.
I'm a man now.
He did the
She
leg
knows.
thing.
Yeah, she's so into him.
Seriously, I mean, look at this guy. He's way better than Riker.
What do you mean way better looking than Riker?
It's just because of how puffy his sleeves are.
Yeah. I mean, he could double in
He's got
freaking.
Bieber hair.
Yeah.
He's mischievous, irrelevant.
He's like a Robin Hood.
I know.
You can't remember, what's that movie where my name is Diego Montoya? You killed my father.
Yeah, Wesley.
Princess
Princess
Bride.
Bride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he could be the Wesley.
Oh, he kind of does look like Wesley.
Except Wesley's kind of taken in this episode
Was-
already.
Yeah.
And look at that smug look on his face, like, damn straight, I'm the Wesley.
I'm Wesley. You poor bastard. You're Wesley in the wrong universe.
Wow.
This Riker's just like, I'm the Wesley in this one.
I'm the first officer, not you.
Oh, that's one of the few times Picard has agreed with Worf's suggestion.
Wow.
Oh!
There a woman on that ship?
And wow.
Well, wait till
I'm
you
surprised
wait till you
the
see
ship
who the woman
hasn't
is.
sunk yet.
J-Lo.
Oof.
Oh, man.
Did Riker just have his hands on Wes's shoulders?
Yep.
That would bother me
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, it's the back of his chair. He had his
Oh,
hands on
okay.
his back.
But haven't you ever had your boss standing directly behind you at work with his hand on your shoulder
No.
before?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about that?
No. That's an ongoing.
I would be like, personal
NDA.
bubble, please.
So Riker's line, "The unexpected is our mission," is not quite as good as Kirk's "Risk is our business."
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
series,
that one.
which was a great line. So I just watched Star Trek VI again about a week ago at Cinerama. It was kind of the turning over of the series from Kirk to Picard, even though it was Next Generation was in its 4th season by then, I want to say, where he says, you know, we're going to go where no man / no one has gone before at the end to kind of change that intro. What were you saying, Mark?
Oh yeah, no, I was sorry, I was just going to come back to Inigo Montoya, just and think about Mandy Patinkin, Mandy Patinkin playing Officer
Riker?
Yeah,
He could have done it.
would have been. Yeah, I think he would have been great. You know, in that role.
And how did he never show up on Voyager? That would have been. That was
Yeah.
That would have
There
been
you
his wheelhouse.
That's funny. So this episode, December 12th, 1988, hence the Christmas music I was singing at the beginning. It's 2 weeks till happy time. This was written by, the teleplay was written by Burton Amos, featured music, our lovely Ron Jones. Please send me a free CD. And cinematography, Edward R. Brown, Robert Becker went ahead and directed this. And here
Now
we're
check
gonna
it out.
see
Who
this.
our transporter chief here is is
Don't know that.
the lovely Terry Hatcher.
It's
Holy shit.
Lois.
Yes.
Lois Lane.
Lois Lane and...
And-
Wait,
Shh. Yeah.
The Klingon security officer.
hold up. Oh, I thought he had a boombox.
Play a love song on there.
Give me more guns. Oh, I can't fool you, Mr. Worf.
For remembrance.
Your knife is weak.
I know he's just gonna go right down the line, insulting everybody, but flirting with the last woman in line.
Data we can begin repair. I'd be most happy to do the work myself.
I can definitely see him being a Riker. Now
I
that you
know.
say
I
that,
think you'd find it.
definitely.
He's got the beard down way better, too.
He's too beautiful.
He's done.
It's funny
just
'cause
too
it's like-
pretty. That's the thing. You know, it's just like nah.
It's 2 years till the Rocketeer, and he looks about 10 years younger in the Rocketeer than he does.
Yeah, he
here.
looks 15.
Wesley Crusher.
Whoa, an
We're
adult
the
is
same
paying
age.
attention to it.
Wesley Crusher.
An acting ensign.
And thank you for beaming me here and enabling me to see a truth.
It's just.
You have the majestic carriage and loveliness.
Stop!
As your as a supervisor,
Data's
why aren't
like,
you stopping?
Wesley's watching. This is not a lesson he should take from this guy.
It was no more true then than it is now.
Yeah.
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 She's giving him the eye, though.
Look at that pomp store. I mean, hers.
Has
He
only
has a
lasted
ponytail.
5 seconds.
Don't trust him.
Hey, it's formal and
No!
business in the
No,
back.
do not give him that look.
As well as a healthy with
Oh, goodness.
Captain Okana.
This is like in the horror movies where you're like, run! Don't do it!
Look at that vest. Jesus.
There's got bling some.
That's a great vest.
That's the vest of someone that I would expect to be named Duncan or Cunningham.
You know,
He should be wearing a kilt.
I could also see that outfit in a Ninja Turtles remake.
Yeah.
You can see like the Rhino guy in that outfit.
Yeah. Is that Rocksteady or Bebop?
I think it's a Bebop.
Oh.
Of course it is.
Wesley's just like, I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
This is great.
Don't
I can't wait
teach
to
that
try
boy
this on my
anything.
mom.
Ah!
Oh, yep.
Sure will.
It's a teenager in a jumpsuit.
My advisor gets to show me exactly how gross you are.
Okay, are these real things, Lebium and whatever he just said? Okay.
Don't worry, you won't. Your ship will never outlast this part. Because it's part of the way I fly my ship.
Geordi, like after he walks away, is like, Wesley, he may seem cool, but unintentional celibacy and like quiet reminiscence are also very cool. You could be best friends with an android too.
I don't know. Wesley has access to the holodeck.
So
Wesley-
does Geordi, as we will learn not too shortly.
And Berkeley.
Yeah.
Huh.
And Riker. Wait a minute.
Who's Barkley?
Oh,
Barkley.
We love Barkley.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's a minor
he's-
character that comes up in the last 2 seasons. He's a lot of fun.
He's essentially the holodeck character.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
He makes an appearance on Voyager as well.
Huh.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I believe that statement to be inaccurate, sir.
So what are they ruminating here?
About what it's like to be an android.
It's like loading twice your cargo weight onto your spacecraft. If it's canaries, and you can keep half of them flying,
Oh, he's telling a joke.
Yeah.
He's telling a joke.
you're all right.
Oh, I thought he was going to try to do an
I
analogy
doubt
or
that
something.
statement is entirely accurate.
I feel strangely attracted to you. I don't understand these feelings.
Could you please teach me more?
You don't know what a joke is.
Please upload
Perhaps
your
if we
firmware.
It is
undressed.
a witticism, a taunt, a bon mot, a fluctuation of words concluding with a trick ending.
So, Amanda, this is your
I love
first
Data
Star
so
Trek:
much.
The Next Generation.
Yes.
You know what?
What drew you into this madness, by the way?
I was invited.
Oh! It's never supposed to. The answer's never supposed to be you guys.
I mean,
You saw the pilot though. Oh, look, it's a transporter chief.
This is so messed up. So
Anybody else getting Princess Jasmine vibes?
so Data is essentially her boss. Data would be like your manager at work, and he just stands there and watches.
Yeah, that's awkward.
Well, they closed the door.
Still awkward.
Can I observe exactly the way you do this? I just want to see if you're doing it right.
Meanwhile, Data observes the transporter systems.
Data center repair. Working on it. Commander, what do you think of Captain Okana? Well,
He's greasy.
Okana is an interesting man, sir. We've seen how he handles his ship. Apparently he knows
So when they were doing the
Bad lesson for Wesley.
Look at that hair. Jesus
Metaphor.
Christ.
my choice.
everyone's got big hair. When they were doing the music, they wanted to show Okana as like the knight in shining armor, kind of like a throwback to
From a long
Errol
time
Flynn.
ago.
Yeah.
Take you to his castle far away.
Yep.
So, you agree with Okana that I'm missing a very important human factor?
I never said that. I simply said.
I liked her.
Yes.
She's a good moral compass. She would never tell you you're wrong, but she'd let you screw up real bad.
Data, do you even know
She's
what a
like one of the most powerful characters, and they never explain why.
It is a witticism. Again,
Because she has a lot of influence without outright
It's just you and
trying
I.
to influence.
We're talking
Yeah.
about
So originally, they're gonna eventually end up here in the holodeck to see
I'm annoyed.
Billy
Oh my
Campbell,
God,
or
she's
not
so
Billy
annoying.
Campbell. Sorry, Joe Piscopo. Originally, Jerry Lewis was supposed to do this,
Oh, Jesus.
right?
Because you're a droid and I'm annoyed.
I don't get it.
humanoid.
Yes.
You told a joke.
Yes.
I'm not laughing. The joke was not.
Oh, damn!
Well, what's great about Whoopi Goldberg is that she tells that story about how she was watching the original series and saw Uhura on it, and ran and told her mom, there's a black lady on TV and she ain't no May.
There you go.
And so she told the producers after the first season, she's like, I would like to be on your show, and they're like,
And they're like,
guest appearance.
yes.
They're like, guest appearance. She's like, no, I want to be on the show.
Animated presentation, humanoid, interaction required.
So he's going into career in stand-up.
General
Of all
Raconteur.
performers available, who is considered funniest?
Joe Piscopo.
And they name all these made-up comedians.
Yeah.
No.
It'd be funny if he zoomed in. It was Weird Al, or maybe who's that guy who smashed the watermelons? Yeah.
Yes.
Gallagher and his super homophobic brother that does the
Oh,
Gallagher.
no.
Yeah.
So,
If you-
speaking of homophobic, who's the guy with the leather jacket?
Oh, Dice Clay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you go back and watch some of those Gallagher shows, though, you're just like, I laughed at that. Oh. No, it was definitely a different era.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Smashing a watermelon probably isn't as funny as it seems.
No, well, that was always at the end of his shows.
Audience home and there's no more room. But thank you, really, thank you. Hey, and thank you for bringing me here. What's up? Mr. Comic.
Mr.
What is
Comic.
funny? Funny, I don't know. Matter of opinion, I guess.
Look, my hair.
Tip O'Neill and Chris. Some people say words that end with a K are funny. A briefcase that looks like a fish. Personally, I find that hysterical.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Tip O'Neill.
Hmm.
Access.
Carrot Top.
20th century male.
Sorry, so since there's you've
Really,
seen,
Tip O'Neill.
if you've
jokes.
seen the
Carrying a belief.
episode of Conan O'Brien where
The juxtaposition of gender
Courtney Thorne Smith came on to promote
is funny.
the movie she made with Carrot Top, chairman of the board, and
Never makes it right.
Norm Macdonald is the other guest. So he's done already, but he's sitting next to her in the chair, and
Nothing makes me
she's
right.
like, "So I made this movie with Carrot Top," and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's gonna be like a blockbuster.
Unlimited.
It's called Chairman of the Board. Is board spelled B-O-R-E-D?"
Oh, Norm Macdonald, you're succeeding so hard right now.
close-minded
I feel like he's in the death throes right now.
He just got on Netflix.
He was interviewed saying something crazy. I don't remember what it was.
Of course he
mean,
was.
which
Yeah,
decade?
now he's doing Jerry Lewis.
Just like yesterday.
Yeah,
Now he's doing the Jerry Lewis impression.
He was because he was talking about like Chevy Chase, right? And he was sympathizing with him. And it's just like both you guys are kind of in the same situation
Yes.
of you just
Except, what's the age difference there? Chevy Chase might be 20 years older than Norm Macdonald.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
But this isn't that funny.
No, it's not.
And this is the best thing that
It's the best part of the episode because
he's trying to do
Brent
Jerry
Spiner
Lewis.
is funny.
Yeah.
The guy playing Data for the.
A word that ends in K. So, if you put funny teeth in your mouth and jump around like an idiot, that is considered funny.
Some of the time.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Data. Data, look, did you ever consider juggling weird bird calls? That does not apply. I simply want to know what is funny. I want to involve myself in other people's laughter.
So before this,
Question.
Brent Spiner,
Yeah.
the actor that plays Data, was a regular character on Night Court. And
Right.
he was like this redneck guy that kept getting brought in.
Right.
Oh my god. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Jokes like, I don't know, we'll start with the classics. Say, the traveling salesman now.
This Data kind of reminds me of like that kid who is too shy to ask his friends for advice, so he just turns to Google.
Yeah, but that's kind of Picard, too. We talked about this earlier, and, it hit a chord definitely with friend of the show, Aaron Henley. My mom had a good friend who definitely had, like, undiagnosed Asperger's, and he used to come over all the time, and my mom was trying to explain about him, and I was like, oh, like Data. And she was like, yes, exactly like Data.
No.
Oh.
So Data just learned how
Data.
to be funny,
Yeah.
and he's trying it out on Gunnan, and it's not working.
But that's true. When I was a kid, I was like, oh man, I wish I was funny. I couldn't be funny when I was a kid because I was doing it the same way. I was
Yeah.
just like, what do funny people
Research,
do?
try to
Hey,
recreate
hey,
it. Yeah.
look at me. I'm being funny. It's just like, no, that's not funny.
Apparently there are a lot more scenes with Terry Hatcher, but they got cut.
Huh.
Does he bring a cigar onto the bridge? That'd be funny.
Put it down.
I would be great. I will just sit here and wait for you.
If he just had it in his mouth when he came in.
Captain. We have an unidentified at 12 Mark 4.
That guy looks like he was really into his job there when
Hot
he got out of
dog,
the chair.
unidentified.
So I guess this episode brings up an interesting question: is if there's a trait that you want to learn that you're not naturally, how do you do it, and how do you do it convincingly?
This is one I wish David Franz, who has done a couple of episodes with us, was here to talk about, because he used to do stand-up comedy, and he did it because he was I'm trying to determine if it's fair to tell the story of how he decided to want to do stand-up comedy. I'm gonna wait and ask him if I can tell this story on the show.
Well,
But yeah, David used to do stand-up comedy, and he was actually really good at it. Probably better than me. I used to do stand-up comedy as well.
Are you sitting down comedy now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sitting down podcasting, YouTubing.
In case we decide to surrender to
What's interesting about Data is that he doesn't have certain soft skills that you need to be funny. And I think Jem's question was, how do you learn something that you're supposed to just figure out?
Right.
And that's never... It's hard to answer a question
Yeah.
like that. It's like, stop being boring. You're like, what?
Research how to not
Yeah.
be boring.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I can do it. I can go through the motions, but I am who I am. And
I mean,
there's
it
only
Yeah, it is. It is kind of one of those weird things where, I mean, the best thing you can do is just practice and see like when when you get the satisfactory response.
So you'd have to learn how to read the room.
Definitely, absolutely. I mean, especially if you want to be a stand-up comic, you need to be able to like know where you are.
And that's definitely that storyline is definitely the best storyline in this episode. And it's sad that it's the B plot. Here at the A plot, we've got this guy that's trying to get Okana.
Oh yeah, the other side of the story.
Oh,
yes.
The data thing is
that
guy.
Yeah.
The data thing is the B plot.
The data thing is the B plot. I mean, it's good. It's good enough to be an A plot. Yeah.
Well, because
Way more interesting.
Well, they probably built it up like, dude, Jerry Lewis is coming. We got to make this great front of the show scene. 20 minutes in, we got to keep the audience engaged. Oh, and we got another.
We got Joe Piscopo.
Yeah. Oh, we got 15 minutes, guys. We got to stretch this out.
We're gonna have to lean heavily on Picard's dome.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the majesty.
What's
slanted.
Creepy as he was only like 45.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait.
Apparently he was the first time he was on like television was in like 1965 on BBC.
Huh.
And he looked the same.
Yeah, that surprised me. He's in what's the name of it?
Oh,
He's in I Claudius, and he has hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is weird to see.
Yeah.
So here, the captain is basically addressing these two lords, more or less space lords, and they're both really angry because Okana's on the ship.
Not to be confused with Time Lords.
Yeah, it does.
That's why I said it. Look at my jacket.
So they want Okana. His son there's looking a little nervous. That's a hint.
Uh-huh.
Look at that.
He's like, I'm kind of.
I'm doing a thing, guys.
How do I say this?
Dad, I had shit to do tonight.
Channel everything you learned in acting school.
Oof.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, okay, guy.
Dad,
You're real special.
Anybody can die, but can you live for your beliefs?
Captain Okana has not responded, sir. He's been reported.
That's Spring Breakers next
3 different people.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
If you can't find him in the crew quarters, go to the doctor's lounge.
So I'm just going to ask the audience at large to look up a song by Shel Silverstein called "Everybody Got One."
A song by Shel Silverstein?
Yeah, he did a lot of songs.
Yeah. No, a lot of his poems were actually done as songs.
Oh.
Yeah. Cat Stevens did a few of them, right?
Okay. Oh,
I don't know if I've
you're
ever
right.
heard Cat Stevens do a Shel Silverstein. It was a lot of Dr. Hook.
Okay.
Chris Christopherson did quite a few. The band did a couple.
I think I do remember Cat Stevens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
The Irish Rovers.
Wait, you're not Terry Hatcher.
Nope.
No, this is crew
gets around.
member number 4.
It's like, you have a sash, but I have a forehead that looks like a fatty.
Make out right now.
Yep.
My mustache.
The rule,
Dwarfish is jealous.
the classic rule of Star Trek was there was no gay except in the evil universe.
Oh.
Well, and then, the most recent Star Trek series.
No, Deep Space Nine.
Yes, that's true.
They set up a number of.
Yeah.
That originally they wanted Dax and Kira. They were hinting at that one a lot, and then Dax had a lover that came by to.
But they had to have the whole when Dax was with them originally, they were a man.
Yeah. Garrick,
right, yeah.
They had to actually establish a female line for him because people thought he was too gay.
Yeah, they were shipping him and Bashir hard.
Yeah.
But it was nice in Discovery.
Look at those pants, though.
they not only
Those are some good
not only did they have a gay relationship, but they had like one of the first like gay characters on TV ever was part of that relationship, which was kind of a cool thing.
In Discovery.
Yep.
The doctor and the engineer.
The doctor was from My So-Called Life. He played Ricky on that show.
Oh.
It was a big deal.
You are free to socialize with the members of my crew.
Oh, damn.
I'm talking about a man.
Please, fuck anybody you see.
My ready room's over there.
It's space.
As he
What are you
just
gonna do?
rips off his clothes. Perfect.
Mind the crystal.
Body.
Then tell me why Kushel of the planet Strela is demanding the same thing. He's here also?
That guy's a dick.
Quite
God, I'm telling you, he would make a great Picard, or not Picard, or Riker.
Yeah.
Kind of that clueless, I'm in trouble? Really?
But wouldn't that have meant, though, that, like, Jonathan Frakes or somebody else would have ended up being the Rocketeer?
I'm okay with that.
That would have been fine.
But someone else would have gone to direct Roswell, and the show would have gone much better.
I mean, just so long as Jonathan Frakes would still be in Gargoyles, I think would be fine.
Everybody was in Gargoyles. Brent Spiner,
Marina Sirtis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can't think of one right now. I'll do it. Which
Kind of reminds me of Bad Little Boy. Just kind of been dragged into the parents' room, or the office.
Let me ask you again. What are Okana's crimes?
Oh, so many.
Oh, you're
Now,
gonna like
talking
this
about Princess Bride, like we were on our last record, doesn't this guy look like Count Rugen right here?
Yes.
With the same shirt, the same hairstyle.
How many fingers does he have?
Oh,
shit.
He just ordered his daughter.
Ran off and left her carrying his bastard child. He'll return, and he'll do the right thing. I'll hunt him to the ends of the galaxy.
So you're trying to kill him or marry your daughter?
Mary.
Yeah. Okay.
That's pretty icky.
Some of the mystery surrounding this ancient morality play we've been dragged into has been revealed.
Okay.
Ancient morality.
Spoiler alert, he's a good guy in the end.
Who?
Okana.
I'm so surprised.
Also, Patrick Stewart, you don't have to like shoehorn everything into like Shakespeare form. This morality play. It's just like, no, we get it. We've been watching.
You know, Captain, your counselor is right. He will fight.
I do love him,
Captain
though.
of the other ship is demanding to be heard. I don't suppose you can give me any indication why this man wants you.
Probably not.
I don't know, man.
Mm.
I'm just this guy, you know.
Let's put all this together.
You saw my pants.
You know what's a shame is that, I mean, it would have taken, the whole thing about Douglas Adams, it took him forever to write anything. But I would have loved it if he could have written an episode of Star Trek Next Generation. That would have been awesome.
I thought he passed away.
He did.
No, he
before
didn't.
the show.
Oh,
was
no, he
aired.
died in about
It was in the 90s.
2001.
No, because
Yes.
because Terry Gilliam had to finish Starship Titanic, yeah, for him.
No,
Yes.
Starship
And he wrote an
Titanic. No, Starship.
It was Terry Jones.
Terry
That
Jones.
was Starship Titanic
Okay.
was done before Douglas Adams died.
Yes.
Douglas Adams died in 2000 or 2001, and his whole thing was he hated to write. He would do collaborative writing, like for radio shows and stuff, which is why there's so much radio Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But he was somehow made the head writer for Doctor Who and couldn't finish anything for that show. There's a bunch of unfinished stuff.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terminate communications.
It's hung up on
Come with
him.
me.
Oh, they are going to use the ready room. All right, where's that crystal?
Captain, you can't be afraid of those two or what they can do to your ship. No.
Silence. Take off your clothes.
Lasers. Yeah, I know.
You. I'm
How do
All good
lasers
pirates
run
take
dry?
off that clip.
But you're right. Whatever happens.
I want to see him sit on a chair and compare it to how he does it with
And when
Riker.
Chris shouts him, then goes the war. And if I hand you over to Devon, it's the same thing. I wish I could.
Something.
Just slice him in half.
Yeah.
I wish I could make it easy. I'm sure you do.
Little lube will take care of that.
Oh.
There's the crystal. Right there on the desk.
For how I live my life. But, just for the record, I did not steal the jewel of Thesia. I am not a criminal, Captain, and as to the other business, that's between me and Yanar. No one else.
In truth, I simply do not have authority in this matter. I'm not your judge, or is it my duty to arbitrate? But you are in my custody, and that creates the dilemma.
How about this?
Take your sleeves down to 9.
Stopping regulation, that would be my only course of action. But their ships are faster than yours. I'm not doing you a favor.
Captain, with all due respect, that's not your concern. Besides, I can take care of myself.
Well, your shoulders are gigantic. I think you're Jordy has just been there the whole time.
Yeah, how much time has passed?
Still trying to put all this together.
Okay,
Quite a craftsman looked at it before. He's like, craftsman. You know what my job title is here? Chief engineer. Don't call me a craftsman.
You fucking ass.
Said, where will you go?
Just goes up to Wesley. He's just like, dude, that dude is greasy.
That was...
But don't take my word
Yeah.
for it.
Yes. That was the weirdest thing in the world. So, you know, LeVar Burton has this podcast right now, LeVar Burton Reads. And he'll, read stuff where he, uses, mass amounts of profanity. It's so weird to hear LeVar Burton say fuck, multiple times. We've talked a lot about how, because, I was 6 when the show came on, he was the gateway character for the show. My parents were like, it's okay, LeVar's here. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So something's going on here. So you notice when Okana came on board, Wesley was kind of doughy-eyed, wow, look at this guy doing his thing. And they just had a great heart-to-heart talk of well, you can't just pack up and leave. You got to stick with your friends and stay with the people that you know. And kind of had the "don't hop in your Mustang and drive away" kind of speech.
You're my new dad.
Yeah. It's like, I would love it if Okada just patted on the shoulder and go, Wesley, from what I can tell, every male authority figure is your new dad.
Now just stay here. I'm gonna go get some cigarettes. I'm going to go get some cigarettes from the what is it? The thing that makes food. Forget it.
Hey, whoa, chest hair. I didn't notice that before. I wonder what that looks like in HD.
Yeah.
HD chest hair.
Riker pops it.
It looks like eyebrow pencil as well.
Oh, look at this. Look at another chesty. Counselor, would you like one?
Communicating like this is very distracting. I suggest that we beam you up to the Enterprise and we resolve this face to face.
Battle Royale. In the Octagon.
It's like, I can tell you're serious because your ship has wall-to-wall carpet too.
14 conference room.
Number 14 conference room.
Aye, sir.
Nobody checked the Outlook calendar. That room was actually booked. Accounting was using that conference room.
Data just watched them go and he's like, nobody laughed at my joke.
I have no weapons.
This way.
Walk of shame.
Oh, it's those two.
Yep.
I get you.
That's why he's the matchmaking pirate.
Okana, you are without shame. For once, I agree with you.
I am without razor.
I trusted you. My son treated you like a brother. And then to steal from us. I want him now. No! He's coming with me. Captain, my complaint was registered first.
Oh my god.
I complained first.
Take a number.
I hate him more.
Yeah.
Well, you can take his left pinky.
Like, listen, I don't want to sound racist, but how are you aliens? Because you look just like us. How are you supposed to be? Can you explain that?
And now, I'm
I'm sure it's somewhere in the encyclopedia. It says this is an emancipated Earth colony before the UPH or whatever it's called was formed.
But don't you think there are like Starfleet captains that, like, if they don't have like something weird on their forehead or like a squinky eye, that they're like, I don't buy that they're actually aliens. We don't need to do the first contact procedures. They look like humans. Let's just treat them like humans.
Look at their haircuts.
Yeah.
Since all of you believe Okana is the father of this child, then so be it.
No! Whoa!
The woman talks.
You can't.
Baby, please.
Yeah. It was one of those bizarre situations. I was like taking a shower and got excited because I was looking at a farm catalog. She came in and I sneezed.
I felt worried while we were talking.
Yeah.
This leader looks familiar. Do we know him from somewhere?
I don't know. Look it up on your pad, man.
Oh, jeez.
It was Okana's.
See,
Well,
look at
because
that.
you would have laughed if I told you the real dad was.
Look at that! Look at that kid.
I know.
Oh,
He
look at
has
that
no
hair.
facial
Look
hair.
at that hair.
He
Yeah.
has a beauty mark.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you let me chase Okana.
It's just.
Oh, you knew this the entire time, didn't you?
It's just
Oh my
freckles all the way down too.
God.
Brown said he never would have. And once Yonara accepted the jewel, the marriage.
Oh, is that what you call it?
Oh.
That Okana does have the jewel.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, it's too late. I won't marry them then.
Then you'll marry Okana.
I won't marry anyone.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh. I mean, sure.
And
Yeah.
so now
No, go ahead.
we cut to the B plot to pull this show into more
That's right.
entertainment. This is a sad scene.
Let me point out to you
Comic
how
continue.
unfunny.
More freebies, huh? No cover, no minimum, just comic continue. Tell me, Data, what happened?
It's interesting having them interact with the holodeck when it's a live thing as opposed to
Yeah.
just objects. Just watching them getting fast forwarded and paused and all
I
that.
think I know what your problem is. You should always try out new material on an audience.
You could be right. Perhaps an audience is what you need.
Oh, there she is. She's gonna let him fail.
That's all of her hats, by the way.
Computer. Program an audience appropriate to this venue.
This is, by the way, the 2300s.
You're angry at the embarrassment of all this. And maybe the time...
My sash is
It's like
just
that guy.
uncomfortable.
That guy is such a schmo.
I know you love Benzan.
Benzan.
Pirates of Benzan.
Like, that was their whole courtship. It's like, your name is what? That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. Do me. I mean, I'd be into it.
Feel for him.
No.
Same way he
Don't
feels for
touch my chin that way.
He's treating her like a little
Makes
girl.
me gag.
Great.
Ah,
the music.
Thank you, Ron Jones.
Ugh. Really?
It's space opera.
It really is.
Oh, why is Troy there?
Yeah.
Why
You
does
need to
Troy?
get paid.
Why does
Just
she
smirk.
have a job?
She's there to smirk and be like, told you so.
Oh, there's the stolen merchandise. Have this.
I want to put this on your finger.
find a new planet to live.
Really?
There's so many new planets. Get out there.
Oh
my God.
Oh no, my boy, you'll be living with us. No.
My grandson.
The rest of this is an issue, gentlemen, to be settled between yourselves.
Point is,
Have your excuse.
fuck off. Get off my goddamn boat.
So this will make us all feel old. 30 years since this episode aired. 20 years since 1 week by the Bare Naked Ladies first premiere.
Thank you.
It's been 20 years since. Oh.
Such a sad scene.
Yeah.
This bummed me out. I'm just like, God, they can't catch a break.
This poor child. Because he's what, 4?
But he doesn't know how to feel.
No, he's older than that
because
because he went through Starfleet Academy.
That's
and
right.
he
He's
had
old as
served on
Wesley.
like 2 starships
Yeah,
before he
he's
served
15.
on this one.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, he and Wesley are the same age.
But he's smart enough to figure out that these people are going to laugh at anything because that's their job.
Uh-huh.
Are you living doing this?
Yes, I did.
Oh, it's still true today. Oh.
I was so ugly as a child. They hung a pork chop around my neck. So the dog would play with me.
Oh.
And now he realizes the magic's gone.
They just laugh.
No.
And then there was the human cannonball. It was hired and fired in the same night. Audience program off.
There you go. Data's good at being sad, though.
It's interesting.
But
Here we are. This is the episode that aired right after Elementary Dear Data. I mean, it's been months since we recorded the 2 episodes, but it's weird that they did 2 holodeck learning episodes with Data. But Jem, I'm sorry if I cut you off.
I was just going to say, how can he be sad? Is that a feeling that he can feel? Because he was just saying, he's so sad. It's such a sad scene.
Well, with Data, this whole episode, it seems almost like he's trying to see humor as a mathematical formula. He keeps asking, what can I do to be funny? What are the elements of funniness? And so in his mind, he's adding everything up, but it's not equaling the laughter, like appropriate laughter. It's almost like he's sort of discontinuing. The math is breaking down for him.
Yeah.
He can understand that. Computers can understand when formulas don't work.
Okay.
So he's disappointed that he's not getting the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not really an emotion. The program's not working.
Right. I feel like it's easy for us because we're seeing it and like we're sad.
Right.
Because it's just like, oh, it's not working, and he's realizing that it's not working. But it's also like he never really understood why comedy worked, but he did understand when, like, the points where comedy was supposed to work and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And he was just like, And so he's there's kind of this this frustration that we don't necessarily see, that he's not really communicating.
Right.
Now he's trying to tell more jokes.
I was going to ask if you ever did actually learn how to laugh and what was funny.
Please.
Warp speed, sir.
Please.
Oh, Data.
So yeah, a third of that episode is really great. I could,
Which third? That's the question.
I like all the Data trying to learn how to laugh stuff. I could completely live without the Okana plot. It's very dull. So I will give the good parts of it a full 5 Joe Piscopos.
Out of 10?
5?
Or out of
Not 5. 5 out of 5.
Wow.
5 Joes? Oh. I'm going to give it probably about 2 Joe Piscopos because I only saw him in there about 2.5 times. And that was enough for me. No, I really did like that they tried to massage in some... That was a Data episode. That was all about him. It was very subtle. A lot of it was just filler material, really. I just felt like 2 pissed off dudes about a sexy wannabe Riker who might have knocked up a lady and Data's trying to get in a laugh. And it's just like, didn't do much for me. How about you, Nigel?
Out of 5 Okana jackets, I give it 3.
Yes!
My basic standard for Star Trek is it needs to be a sci-fi feel. This one, you could really stick it anywhere in any kind of genre and it'd still work. Okana was interesting. If he was a regular character or a recurring character, then maybe I might like this episode more. The Data stuff was... They just kind of scratched the surface of what might be a really interesting character study. But as such, I can only give it 3 jackets.
Miss Jen?
I was going to use Okana ponytails, but instead...
Go for it!
I will instead use real laughs, but I've been noticing more and more that, there's always that A plot and B plot, and I always find one more interesting than the other. And it's always when it has to do with that sci-fi and it has to do with the actual Star Trek universe, not interested. But, the developing of a human or a character, in this case Data, I really enjoyed. So that part, I give about 3.5 real Data laughs. But the rest of it I could do without, probably 0 out of 5.
And Miss Amanda?
Oh goodness. I guess I would give it 3 Whoopi Goldbergs out of 5.
Yes!
That's a lot right
That's a lot of Whoopi.
3 Whoopi.
As my first.
I was totally going to give it mine in Whoopi Goldberg hats.
But you're doing 3 because it's your first full episode.
My first full episode. It didn't seem very sci-fi-y, but as an introduction.
My friend, if you like that, you were gonna love the rest of the show.
Yeah, all right.
It's on Netflix.
You do like the sci-fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be interesting to hear because we did 4 in a row with Alex, so it'd be interesting to hear both of you be there at the same time.
Oh boy!
Yeah. I just hear your excitement. See, I'm glad she'll never listen to these.
I didn't mean it.
No. She will. Wait, I don't want to get sued. If she's on it, she posts them on her blog and says this is what my voice sounds like. But yeah, she's not.
Everything I say sounds like an insult.
All right. Let's be nice here.
Friend of the show, Alex. Who
Is a
we
good
do
friend.
enjoy- yeah, so we
I've
do
known
enjoy-
her for 1,000 years.
1,000 years. What's the actual count there?
It's 15 or so.
15?
Yeah, we knew her in high school.
Oh, you did? I didn't realize that one.
Yeah.
Let's tie a ribbon on this. So
Mark didn't give his yet.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. I was just going to say, I'm going to give it 2 Gaiden hats. 2.5 Gaiden hats out of 5 because I do think I really did like the Data plot and I liked the way they wrapped up the quote unquote main plot in it. But the main plot was just so awful.
Yeah.
That was a chore, and it just took up so much time.
Happily, Billy Campbell has a series on Hulu where he's like a detective in Alaska. That's actually pretty good right now.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, he's not doing too bad for himself. I don't know about all those other supporting roles.
It's good that he's alive, I guess.
Yeah. Well, The Rocketeer is a legitimately great movie.
I do like it. No, that's
Joe Johnson directed that, and he has one more movie to do. He's going to do the next Chronicles of Narnia, which I'm excited for. He's going to do Silver Chair, and he's going to retire. But he did, Captain America, The First Avenger, and Rocketeer, and I mean, he can completely rest his laurels on those 2 movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So what do we got coming up next? We have coming up on episode 5. Do we remember what episode that is? That's Loud as a Whisper.
Which I know Jem is really excited about because as an actor, she really
Is that what has Howie Seago in it?
Yes,
it is.
Yes.
So
I'm for that.
you have yourselves probably a couple of weeks, so that will air on January 9th, 2019.
Wow.
So
We'll be recording it a long time before then.
So we might actually have another shore leave episode worked in there. We
I would like to do that. Yeah, if there's that break, maybe we could do both. I think we can skip Naked Gun.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll.
I'm recording this right now. It's only September.
We could do Totoro. Actually, that's another 1988.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah,
That was in '88.
That's a Studio Ghibli.
Yes,
one,
we
right?
could do Totoro, or we could do Grave of the Fireflies, or even.
Oh, that's a sad one. That's a good one.
But the crazy thing is how timey-wimey works. You'll already have heard what that commentary is before you hear this show. So
if you could actually write back our email address from the future and let us know how it turned out.
nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We've enjoyed all of our correspondence with Aaron Henley. I feel bad that we chuckled at some of his things that he wrote, but he is a great friend of the show, great listener. Gene Hendricks, who we know listens to every episode. I hope make you steer your car off the road. Thank you so much for listening to us. And again, I want to thank the Freaks for hosting us over the summer. I hope that they are continuing with their Star Trek Monthly Mondays. But if not, and if I have buttered up Chris Honeywell enough, maybe you're still listening to us on Two True Freaks. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see you next time.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
Why am I interviewing you guys?
So you're the guest.
So Sascha, what is Star Trek?
Hi,
Next
I'm the
Generation?
guest.
So Sascha, what is Star Trek?
Seek us out at Next Generation's First Generation at iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Music credits include Electric Car by Poddington Bear. Music heard in this podcast can be found at freemusicarchive.org. Audio engineering by Sascha Shouties. Chief Meme Maker and episode cover credit goes to Matthew Kirshner. Logo and graphic art design credit goes to David Clawwitter. And special thanks to Patrick Delmore for working with other podcasts to make sure the good word gets out.
Do you have a podcast that you think people should be listening to? Send us your promos and we'll play them on the show. If you'd like to email the show, you can email us at nextgenfirstgenpod@gmail.com. I've been Patrick Delmore.
And this is Sascha Shouties. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful day.
Good night.